Brooke Welsh Graybush, author of Benito to the Rescue. The illustrator is Fred Lang. This book is dedicated to my mother Mary, who encouraged me to write a story about my rescue dog, Napoleon. There are so many dogs, Gabrielle giggled with delight as she searched for pets on the Paws website. The dogs were big, tall, spotted, and small. Dogs of all shapes and sizes appeared on her computer screen. A fierce dog with pointy teeth and a spiky collar. A dirty dog with a missing tail and sad eyes. Skinny greyhounds, fluffy golden retrievers, tiny terriers, and curly poodles all needed safe and loving homes. Gabby's eyes lit up when she saw a scruffy cocker spaniel named Blessing. The description read, Blessing, 2 years old, male, quiet, good with kids. Benito, she exclaimed in her native Spanish language. Maybe he would be her blessing. It was only a month since Gabrielle's family moved from the large city of Lima, Peru to Lamont, PA for her dad's university job. Lima, the capital of Peru, is located in South America about 8 miles from the Pacific Ocean. Lamont, on the other hand, is a small town in central Pennsylvania surrounded by farmland and forests. Gabby's world changed overnight. Well, Gabby felt very homesick. She missed her old school, friends, and the bustling city of Lima. During recess, her mind wandered to the pictures of the dogs she had found on the Paws website. Maybe she could go to Paws today. She began to feel comforted at the thought. Until a group of girls approached her. Gabriella, where did you get that stupid accent and silly outfit? As they walked away, she heard another whisper. I didn't know it was Halloween already. They all burst into laughter. Gabriella felt hot tears running down her face. She was having a hard time making friends at her new school. She was afraid she would never fit in here. Finally, the school bell rang. As soon as she got home, she burst through the door into her dad's open arms. Poppy, I need a friend, she sniffed. Can we go to Paws to get a rescue dog? Absolutamente, he said emphatically. That was just what they would do. Walking into Paws was like stepping into another world, a feeling that Gabriella had a lot lately. Her mood changed immediately. Oh, the smells, the sounds. She was greeted with howling, squealing, barking, and growling. Gabby's dad spoke quietly with the staff. He explained how his daughter needed a gentle dog who would make a good friend. We want to visit a few dogs, but she has her eye on one dog named Blessing. A volunteer arrived and escorted them down a long hallway. Pleading eyes looked back at them through cages and fences. Each dog seemed to say, Pick me! They first were introduced to a blue-eyed husky. Gabby tugged on the dog's leash as he yipped and yapped. Suddenly, the husky leaped forward, and Gabby landed on the ground. Her dad grabbed her hand, pulling her up. He hastily suggested they move along. They were led to a smaller cage. The volunteer unlocked the door and picked up a scruffy cocker spaniel. Looking at them over droopy eyes, the animal did not make a sound. He was shaking all over. Do you know who this dog is? Asked the volunteer. Gabby knew right away it was Blessing. She looked at her dad with excitement. Benito! She sunk her fingers into the dog's soft fur. It was softer than her softest blanket. She giggled in delight. Squirming back to the ground, Blessing darted right into the water dish, slipped, and landed in a heap. Gabby's giggle turned into loud laughter. Pappy, I like him. Can we take him home? Gabby's dad reminded her this would be her dog. That meant she would feed, walk, brush, and play with him. But she already loved him and was ready to do whatever was necessary to give Blessing, whom she would call Benito, a nice home. After finishing up the paperwork, they were ready to take Benito home. On the way home, Benito wiggled and panted nervously. Or was he simply excited to have a new home? Her dad explained the dog was probably still a bit anxious, and it would take Gabriella and Benito time to get to know and trust one another. Gabby and her dad stopped at the pet store on the way home. The brushes, dog food, treats, and bed took all of her allowance money, but she knew it would be worth every penny. Gabby and her father arrived home. "Mom, meet Benito!" She unleashed Benito, who started pacing around their home. Her mom looked a little concerned. She reminded Gabriella that many of the pets that come out of shelters are abused or neglected and are often nervous and skittish. Benito would require a lot of patience. "Let's make a daily to-do list for Benito," her mom suggested. "I can do this," Gabby said confidently with a smile on her face. At bedtime, she set her alarm extra early to take care of Benito before school. But before morning arrived, Gabby woke up to a loud coughing sound. Startled, she ran to Benito to see what was wrong. Gabby thought she'd better wake up her parents. After comforting Benito, her dad tucked her back into bed and said they would schedule an appointment with a veterinarian in the morning. Gabby woke up to the beep, beep, beep sound of the alarm. She yawned and stretched. Suddenly, she remembered she had to walk Benito before school. Jumping out of bed, she found a puddle on the floor. She frowned and leashed him as he coughed. How could she feed, walk, and clean up after him without being late for school? Well, Gabby was late. Very late. She tried to sneak into her seat without being noticed. All day, she felt like everyone was staring at her. Before lunch, she heard Emily and Rachel whispering and laughing. "Look, she didn't even brush her hair," Emily said, flipping her blonde ponytail. Rachel giggled. "I bet she couldn't get a brush through her horse mane anyway, and her socks don't match." They exploded in laughter. Gabby was in such a hurry she hadn't paid much attention to details. The girls already teased her about her accent and her clothes. She felt her face get hot and turn red. Why couldn't she have beautiful curly red hair like Rachel or straight blonde hair like Emily? She felt ashamed of who she was. She was relieved when it was finally time to go home. She was greeted by Benito coughing. It was time to go to the vet. Gabriella and her dad entered the waiting room with Benito fidgeting and coughing by their side. The vet appeared and asked Gabby how she was enjoying her new dog. "He made me late for school today because I had to clean up his mess. He woke me up in the middle of the night with a bad cough. I didn't sleep well, and I was late for school. The kids were laughing at me because my socks didn't match." Gabby was near tears. Not quite knowing what to say, the vet started the checkup. He weighed Benito and took an x-ray. He explained that Benito's cough was from his enlarged heart, and he also had poor vision and was partially deaf. "And Benito is not 2. I checked his teeth, and I'm guessing he is 9 years old, which is like a 63-year-old human. Benito would need to take 1 pill a day and peanut butter for his heart and go outside more frequently to prevent messes on the floor." Finally, the vet whispered, "Don't give up. Sometimes these adopted animals take a lot of care. I believe he will be a good friend. Be patient with him. You will find that all of the good things outweigh the bad." Gabriella started to wonder if adopting Benito was such a great idea after all. This was a lot more than she imagined. The weeks passed by, and she followed Benito's revised care list. Well, some days were frustrating. Benito would make a mess on the floor or step in his bowl, spilling water everywhere. Most days, he paced around the house anxiously. She wondered what happened in Benito's past to make him so nervous. When Benito seemed afraid, Gabby spoke kindly to him as she brushed him. He would look at her with his droopy eyes, as if he was telling her, "Thank you." At those times, she was glad she adopted him. The next day at school, the teacher explained that the following week was show and tell. The red-headed girl Rachel said she would bring in her telescope that she uses to stargaze. And the boy next to her said he would bring in his violin. "Great ideas," said their teacher. The girls called out, "Hey, Gabriella, why don't you bring your poncho? You can tell us why you wear that ugly thing." Well, after school, Gabby was so upset that she ran out the door, down the alley, and straight home. Opening the front door, she called for Benito. She threw her hands into his soft fur and sobbed and sobbed. To her amazement, Benito did not move. He just stood there panting softly. It's like he understood how she felt. Benito, they think I dress funny. They make fun of my accent. They don't like me at all. Benito looked at Gabby with sad, droopy eyes. He sat beside her for a long, long time and didn't even get up to pace. He just kept on panting softly next to her. Gabby felt comforted. Benito, did the other dogs make fun of you because you never barked? Did they laugh at you because your fur was scruffy? Gabby looked at Benito for a long time, and to her surprise, the tears stopped falling as she started to calm down. Gabriella's mom found her sleeping soundly with her head resting on Benito's side. Gabriella, dear. Her mom nudged her awake. Gabby told her mom about her rotten day. Her mom comforted her, saying it must have felt horrible when the girls teased her, just because she dressed and acted a little differently. She reminded her that the girls had never actually gotten to know her. When they do, they will realize how awesome you are, her mom said. You are special and unique. There is only one Gabriella, just like there is only one Benito. Gabby's mom pointed to Benito. Look at Benito. We don't really know where he is from or what he has gone through. He paces a lot, and he is very nervous, but we don't know why. Maybe his past owner really hurt him, and he will be scared of people until he can learn to trust. But look, he's learning to trust you. He sat beside you today while you cried and slept. Gabby pondered this. Mama, I will take Benito to show and tell next week. A week passed by, and things had calmed down a little at school. The girls had a talk with the teacher. It didn't stop them from whispering and giving Gabriella mean looks, but at least things were quieter. Today was show and tell. Gabriella, don't you have something to show us today? The teacher asked. Gabriella got out of her seat and went to the door. Her dad was outside just as they planned, waiting with Benito on his leash. Yes, my dog Benito! The children gasped with delight when they saw him. The name Benito means blessing in Spanish, said Gabriella. Both Gabby and Benito wore matching ponchos. She explained to her classmates that Benito was a Cocker Spaniel mixed dog that she rescued from paws. She said Benito was really nervous when she first adopted him, but as he learned to trust her, he was settling down. He is nervous many days, and especially today because he doesn't know if he can trust all of you yet, Gabby said. Trust is something that is earned. We learn to trust people when they are kind to us and follow through with what they promise. I have learned to trust Benito, and he is learning to trust me as I take care of him and love him. Today we are both wearing ponchos, Gabriella continued. I was born in Lima, Peru, in South America, where people speak Spanish and often wear ponchos woven from the wool of llamas, alpacas, or sheep. Each region has its own colors, patterns, and traditions. These are mine. All of a sudden, she heard the students bursting into laughter. Oh no, Gabby thought they were making fun of her again, but they were pointing at Benito, who was tangled up in his poncho. Gabriella started laughing too. She invited the students to come up and meet Benito. Emily and Rachel looked at her cautiously. They started asking her questions for the first time about Benito and her poncho. That poncho is kind of pretty, said Emily. Gabriella wasn't sure if they would ever become good friends, but for the first time, Emily and Rachel were being kind. That evening, Gabby sat down with Benito. She gave him a big hug and said, "Thank you, Benito, for being a blessing. Thank you for teaching me to accept who I am. Thank you for being my friend when I needed one. Maybe it wasn't me who rescued you, but you who rescued me."
Hello, I am Dorothy Price, and I will be reading my first picture book, Nana's Favorite Things. After shooting hoops and riding bikes, nothing is better than Nana's yummy treats. Nana, where are you? I'm ready for a chocolate chip cookie. Nana doesn't answer. Instead, Mom rushes in. Sasha, Nana isn't feeling well. What's wrong with Nana? Nana has diabetes. She can't eat sugary treats like she used to. Did I make Nana get diabetes by always asking for her cookies? Of course not, Mom replied with a hug. Nana needs to exercise and eat healthier foods. Then she'll be just fine. Mom's hug helps, but I feel blue. Exercise, healthier foods? What will Nana bake now? Walking into the pantry for a snack, I trip over my shiny shoelaces on my favorite pink high tops, careful not to knock Nana's mixer onto the floor. She is always telling me to keep my laces tied, especially when I ride my bike. If Nana's bike weren't so rusty, we could ride to the park together and play some basketball. That would help her stay healthy. That's when a great idea pops into my head. I'll be right back, I tell Mom and race to my room. I find my allowance and count how much I've saved for a new scooter. I would rather spend it on the perfect gift for Nana, but it's not quite enough. I'll have to empty my piggy bank too. Got it. Returning home from a trip to the mall with Mom the next evening, a strange smell whizzes up my nose. Nana, I yell as I enter the kitchen, forgetting to use my inside voice. Do you feel better? Much better, she answers. Try my sugar-free zucchini bread. Sugar-free zucchini bread, I shriek. Yuck. You've never baked that before. It's one of my new healthy recipes, Nana explains. Give it a try. I bite off a tiny piece and inch my way to the garbage can, then stop. Yummy! Zucchini bread is delicious. I eat another piece, then pull a box out of my homemade shopping bag. What's this? Nana asks when I hand her the box. A special gift for you. Nana opens the box and smiles when she sees new pink high tops just like mine. What a sweet granddaughter, Sasha. I love them. Wearing her new high tops, Nana follows me into the garage for another surprise. I had spent the whole afternoon sanding and scrubbing, but finally, Nana's bike shines. Last but not least, I switched the rusty black horn with a new one, so everyone will hear her coming through. Are you ready to ride, I ask. I'm not sure if I can, Sasha, Nana replies. Give it a try. Nana wobbles at first. Once she's ready, we ride over to the basketball courts. Bet we can take on those boys for some hoops? Donning our matching pink high tops, we play some fun 2-on-2. From that day on, zucchini bread became my favorite treat. Shooting hoops and riding bikes became Nana's favorite things too. The end. I hope you enjoyed.
Hi, today I'm going to be reading my book Achoo with the help of our bookstore Bunny Meatball. Achoo! Mayor Munkin kept order on the island of Blue, where chimps swung in blue trees, sipping blue morning dew. Every day after breakfast, they all marched along to the top of Blue Hill to stay healthy and strong. All lived well on the island until out of the blue, Coming from the branches, they heard something new. Achoo! Confused by the outburst, they listened and froze. Are those sneezely sounds from some sad monkey's nose? Mayor Munkin spoke quickly, raising his palm. Friends, do not worry. We must all stay calm. I am the mayor, and I know what to do. First, we must find out who made that achoo. Struggling to locate the source of this sound, he spied little pink Lulu snuffling on the ground. Lulu stared at the mayor. The others did too. He nervously stammered, I know just what to do. Then wise Mubby Monkey tried to make herself heard. If I may, she began, simply have a short word. The mayor waved her away, wanting nothing to do with ideas from others. Let me think, shoo, shoo, shoo. He thought for a moment. I know what is best. Dear Lulu, he said, go straight to your nest. He narrowed his eyes, a stern look on his face. You must keep that sneeze in your own private space. Pleased that he knew just what to do, Mayor Munkin ate extra blueberries that night with his blueberry stew. But the very next morning, the mayor stared in despair. Pink and orange monkeys now sneezed everywhere. Mubby rushed to explain. If I may be so bold, Lulu sneezed on her friends and she doled out her cold. Munkin thought for a moment as he paced to and fro. Mubby tried to pipe in. There's a good cure, I know. Hush! Shushed the mayor. I'll fix this, not you. Let me think here a second. Shoo, shoo, shoo. Aha! He exclaimed. Chimps need sleep when they're ill. Send them all to relax in the sun on Blue Hill. So all the well monkeys, and the sneezy ones too, slowly made their way upwards to rest and renew. Pleased that he knew just what to do, Mayor Munkin ate extra blueberries that night with his blueberry stew. But the very next morning when the mayor awoke, the whole jungle trembled. His ears almost broke. From left, from right, from up, from down, the sneezes flew wildly all around town. The poor mayor gulped. Oh no, what should I do? If I may, Mubby said, I have an idea for you. Not now, snapped the mayor. Just shoo, shoo, shoo. He rubbed his sore head. But what should I do? Grabbing a vine, he swung off and away to find a solution that might save the day. Munkin pondered his options, still feeling unsure. He sighed. All those poor monkeys awaiting a cure. That night at dinner, the mayor felt blue. He did not eat one bite of his blueberry stew. At dawn the next morning when the mayor arose, he felt a tickle, a prickle, like a bug in his nose. The mayor felt frantic as he hopped all around, but there was no chance of stopping that unwelcome sound. Achoo! Though his ideas were good, they just weren't enough. I'm sorry, he snuffled. This cold is too tough. Then suddenly, the mayor lifted his nose. He pleasantly smiled when a sweet smell arose. More monkeys perked up as the scent reached the group. A scrumptious aroma. Mubby's good blue leaf soup. Lulu led the way to her spot in the trees where Mubby stirred soup made from frilly blue leaves. Monkeys slurped and they sneezed, munching every last curl. Then they dozed off together in a big, snuggly swirl. That nourishing soup did its work overnight, and the mayor woke up finally feeling all right. The mayor peeked round. Was there any more wheezing? He heard snuffling and snoring, but no monkey sneezing. Soon Mubby stirred, then Lulu, then others. Monkeys chattered and cheered with their sisters and brothers. Look, Lulu shouted, I'm no longer ill. Now that we're healthy, let's all climb Blue Hill. He stood next to Mubby as the others rushed past. Thanks, he said, winking, for fixing us fast. I thought sleep, sun, and quiet was all the chimps needed, but fresh blue leaf soup was what really succeeded. With the help of wise Mubby, he knew just what to do. That night, the mayor ate extra blueberries with his blueberry stew. So, dear chimps, both the young and the old, take care of yourselves when you come down with a cold. The end.
My name is Heather Herzog, and I wrote a book called Bunny Bath.
Do you like bunnies and gardens? Well, a long time ago, when my daughter was little, we had a garden, and it had bunnies. That's when I wrote the story Bunny Bath. And guess what? When my daughter grew up, she drew the pictures for the book. Bunny Bath is about a bunch of silly rabbits taking a bath, and it's a counting book, too. Bunny Bath is fun for kids who are learning to count. So come on, let's hop right into the story. Splish splash, one little bunny taking a bath. She hops and jumps and crashes and bumps. But then there's a knock, 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 and a turn of the lock, and a hop, hop, hop. Splish, splash, wiggly, wriggly. Two little bunnies taking a bath. They hop and jump and crash and bump. They laugh and giggle and slosh and tickle. But then there's a knock, 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 and a turn of the lock, and a hop, hop, hop. Splish, splash, wiggly, wriggly, giggly, higgly. Three little bunnies taking a bath. They hop and jump and crash and bump. They laugh and giggle and slosh and tickle. They scrub all their toes and each pink little nose. But then there's a knock, 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 and a turn of the lock, and a hop, hop, hop. Splish, splash, wiggly, wriggly, giggly, higgly, scrubbly, bubbly. Four little bunnies taking a bath. Can you count the four bunnies? 1, 2, 3, 4. They hop and jump and crash and bump. They laugh and giggle and slosh and tickle. They scrub all their toes and each pink little nose. They soak their knees and try not to sneeze. But then there's a knock, 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 and a turn of the lock, and a hop, hop, hop. Splish, splash, wiggly, wriggly, giggly, higgly, scrubbly, bubbly, washy, sloshy. How many? 5. 5 little bunnies taking a bath. And you can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They hop and jump and crash and bump. They laugh and giggle and slosh and tickle. They scrub all their toes and each pink little nose. They soap their knees and try not to sneeze. They wash their shins and their soft bunny shins. But then There's a knock, 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 and a turn of the lock, and a hop, hop, hop. Splish, splash, wiggly, wriggly, giggly, higgly, scrubbly, bubbly, washy, sloshy, sudsy, wudsy. 6 little bunnies taking a bath. They hop and jump and crash and bump. They laugh and giggle and slosh and tickle. They scrub all their toes and each pink little nose. They soap their knees and try not to sneeze. They wash their chins and their soft bunny shins. They dive and tumble and blow soap bubbles. But then there's a knock, 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 and a turn of the lock, and a hop, hop, hop. Splish, splash, wiggly, wriggly, giggly, higgly, scrubbly, bubbly, washy, sloshy, sudsy, wudsy, slippery, sluppery. 7 little bunnies taking a bath. Count the bunnies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think I see a little yellow duck there too. They hop and jump and crash and bump. They laugh and giggle and slosh and tickle. They scrub all their toes and each pink little nose. They soap their knees and they try not to sneeze. They wash their chins and their soft bunny shins. They dive and tumble and blow soap bubbles. They splash and prance and slide and dance. But then, you can say it with me, there's a knock, 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 and a turn of the lock, and a hop, hop, hop. It's Mama Bunny! She dries their knees and gives each a squeeze. She dries their toes and each pink little nose. She dries their chins and their soft bunny shins, and brushes their teeth both above and beneath. She tucks them in bed, kissing each little head, then reads them the story that they've always read. She tells of carrots shining bright in a magical garden on a moonlit night. She hums a soft, sweet lullaby and draws the curtain as 7 bunnies sigh. And light fades from the sky. Good night.
Splish, splash, wriggly, wiggly, jiggly, biggly, wiggly, piggly. 3 little bunnies taking a bath. They hop and jump and crash and bump. They splash and boom, giggle and splash and tickle.